Success is when opportunity meets preparedness, and in boxing, you won't taste success unless you prepare yourself properly in training. In this video, let's talk about a typical boxing workout for amateurs and for pros. These days, there are a lot of new strength and conditioning coaches that are giving boxers new tips on cardio training, new tips on strength training, and they're even telling them how to do their boxing. Fuck all that. In this video, I'm going to talk about the boring old basics. If you look back at the last 50 years, you'll see that boxers really haven't improved that much. Compare today's boxers who do all the fancy new strength training and conditioning exercises to the old boxers, and you'll find that the old boxers of the past are actually more conditioned athletes. And most importantly, they're doing the right things for boxing specifically. So first, let's dive into the exercises that you should be doing, and then we'll talk about the format for all those exercises. First exercise is going to be running. This is great to condition your lungs, condition your legs, and condition your mind to be able to go for long stretches without getting tired. So don't skip your road work, otherwise you'll end up being the guy who says he lost his fight because his walking suit was too heavy and that's why his legs were tired. Just for reference, guys like Manny Pacquiao, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and Floyd Mayweather all ran 5 to 10 miles a day every day, sometimes more. Out of all the guys I just mentioned, Floyd Mayweather is the only one that would leave his running for nighttime because he wanted to be more fresh for his boxing training, which is actually a really smart thing to do. But all these guys, without exception, did their running mostly separately from their boxing and their strength training routines. Next is going to be shadow boxing. It's one of the most important exercises that you should be doing, and it's the best exercise outside of sparring to help you get prepared for a fight. Always shadow box, and preferably start your workouts with shadow boxing. And what you want to do with shadow boxing is always pick a goal going into it. Think of something that you're going to work on rather than just freestyling all the time. And the number one rule for shadow boxing is no bullshit punches. Make sure you throw each punch with the best form, with the best speed, and the best power possible. Perfect time to help you visualize your opponent, prepare yourself for a fight, and work on your technique, which is really important. It's all about deliberate practice. Next is everybody's favorite, which is the heavy bag. It's one of the most diverse exercises that you could do, and it can help you work on just about every aspect of your game. You can work on your speed, you can work on your power, you can work on your combination speed and your defense, right? You just have to have a goal in mind before you do it. My favorite topic, and I probably have the most controversial view on this, is strength training. For strength training, I believe in sticking to the boring old basics, which is a high rep, high volume calisthenics routine. Why? Because everything you do in training has an opportunity cost. So if you decide to do a bench press, that's time away from your strength training, from your conditioning, and from your boxing training. So you have to keep opportunity cost at the top of mind when you're doing your strength training. For every exercise that you do, there's another exercise that you're not doing. There's another aspect of your game that you're not working. The reason I love calisthenics is because it's a good way for you to work both your muscular endurance and muscular strength at the same time. It also could even be a good cardio workout if you get into the high enough rep range. Not to mention, calisthenics are a compound movement that uses your whole body. It gives you functional full body strength that gives you the kind of connectivity a fighter needs. It gives you that ape-like strength in order to be able to use your body for your punches, for your movement, and for everything that you do, as opposed to weightlifting, which are usually isolated movements and don't really work your cardiovascular or muscular endurance. Now, there's a right and wrong way to lift weights, but if we really want to get into a debate, just point me to some of the new guys that do lift weights, and I'll point you to just as many that didn't and are probably much better off in terms of boxing, right? If we're talking MMA and wrestling, it might be a different strength and conditioning program, but boxing specifically, calisthenics is the way to go. It often surprises people that Mike Tyson lifted 0 weights in his prime, and he was actually quoted saying that weights have as much to do with boxing as cheesecake. Other guys that use their body for strength training include Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Marvin Hagler, Roy Jones Jr., Manny Pacquiao, and the list goes on and on. Weights aren't bad, they're just not the best use of your time and energy. Next is your sparring. If you could pick any one exercise to get ready for a fight, it would be sparring. It's the only thing that actually gets you as close as possible to knowing what a real fight is like. James Toney actually used to skip the heavy bag and just spar a lot instead, and we see how amazing of a fighter he was. He was one of the best defensive and one of the most cerebral fighters in boxing history. Mike Tyson is another guy that used to spar every day. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, who spars with no rounds, right? Sparring is one of the most important exercises that you could do, so always spar and spar hard. One exercise that doesn't get enough credit is jump roping. It helps you work your legs, it helps you work your rhythm, it helps you work your foot speed, and you should do it constantly on top of a good cardiac vascular workout. It really does help you work aspects of your boxing game that you would be missing out on if you didn't do it. So always throw jump roping into your routine, whether it's in the beginning or at the end of your workout. And you always want to end the workout with things like isometric holds to build that muscle density and build that overall body strength, and then end with some stretching as well, so you're nice and loosened up for the next day. You don't get tightened up overnight, and you don't risk injury going into practice. Not every day is going to look the same in practice. You're going to have workout A and workout B. Workout A, you're going to hit on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and workout B, you're going to hit on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Let's dive into what you'll be doing. For workout A, you're going to come in and jump rope for 10 to 20 minutes, no breaks. You can mess up, that's fine, but you get right back into it as quick as possible. No rounds necessary. Next is the shadow boxing. Do 2 rounds to loosen up and get your muscles warm, and then do about 3 to 6 rounds of hard shadow boxing with a goal in mind. You're gonna do this for 3 to 4 minute rounds with 30-second breaks. Then you wanna jump on the heavy bag again with a goal in mind. Do 4 to 6 rounds, do 3 to 4 minutes with 30-second breaks. Right after the heavy bag, you're gonna jump on the pads. I forgot to mention this earlier, but mitts are super important. They help you work your distance a little better than the heavy bag. They help you measure better than the heavy bag. They help you work on your combinations, your speed, your footwork, because you have somebody doing the dance with you. So do the pad work for 4 to 6 rounds, again, 30-second breaks. Next, you have your strength training. You're gonna do 20 sets of push-ups every minute on the minute. You're gonna do 20 sets of dips, 20 sets of pull-ups, 20 sets of squats, and 20 sets of some kind of ab work. You could break this up into 10 sets of leg raises and 10 sets of sit-ups. It doesn't matter, just 20 sets of some type of ab work. The reason you want to do your strength training every minute on a minute is because it is very efficient, and it also helps you work your endurance much better than you would if you just took random breaks in between sets. Now you could do all these sets in one go, or you could break them up multiple times throughout the day to hit those numbers. Mike Tyson, for example, did his training 3 times a day, right? So he would do an exercise, do some strength training circuits, do an exercise, do some strength training circuits, right? And he would do that, and his cumulative reps would end up being like 500 push-ups and 500 dips, right? So he would stay in that range. Sometimes he'd do up to 2,000 squats in a day because he would do them after his running and then sometime throughout the workout, right? So you want to break them up how you feel you want to, or you can simply do them all in one go and have that just be a sectioned off part of your day where you're just focused on strength training. And you constantly want to work on increasing the amount of reps you do per set, even if they're just 1 a day or 1 a week. Just increase the amount of reps you do per set. Then you want to cool off and jump on a supplement exercise like the sway bag or speed bag and do about 3 to 5 rounds on that. And the workout with some plyometrics and some explosive training. That could be sprints, that could be sledgehammer training, that could be chopping wood, pushing cars, whatever kind of plyometric exercises that you want to do. Just work on your explosiveness. The reason I like to do this at the end of the workout is because it teaches you how to explode when you're tired. You're going to be gone, you're going to be spent, your muscles are going to be tired, you're going to be drained, but you're going to have to work on exploding when you feel that way. Lastly, you want to run about 3 to 5 miles a day at a minimum. Now, you can do this early in the morning or late at night, separate from your training. That's how I prefer to do it. That's how many other guys have done it, and that's because this is something that they can do separately without it taxing them for their actual workout. Now, let's dive into workout B, which you're going to be doing on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So you're going to come in, jump rope for 10 to 20 minutes, then jump right into shadow boxing. Again, 2 rounds to loosen up, and 3 to 6 rounds to really go hard and focus on working on something. Right after shadow boxing, you're gonna glove up and jump into sparring. Do 6 to 12 rounds with 30-second breaks in between. The 30-second breaks are crucial. The reason I keep saying to only rest for 30 seconds is because you will train your body to recover in 30 seconds. It'll get into a habit of having to recover and only having 30 seconds to recover. So come fight time, that minute that you get will feel like a lifetime. Your body will be recovered and ready to go for the next round. You'll be in way better shape. But Mayweather actually doesn't even do rounds for a lot of his exercises, and that's why we've never seen him tired. Now, when it comes to sparring, you want to spar hard. You want to be as realistic as possible. Now, you don't want to spar so hard that when you rock your opponent, you go in for the kill. You don't want to do that. That's not healthy. But you do want to spar hard, and you want to make the fight realistic. You want to feel that sense of danger that comes in the fight. Otherwise, you won't be prepared come fight time. After sparring, you want to cool off a bit and jump into your strength training. That includes 20 sets of push-ups, 20 sets of dips, 20 sets of pull-ups, 20 sets of squats, and 20 sets of some kind of ab work. Again, you could break this up before and after sparring and just throughout your workout, or you could do it all in one go and just have your strength training sectioned off. Or you could do it completely separate from your boxing training. Maybe you do your boxing training in the morning and then do your strength training sometime in the evening or the afternoon, right? It doesn't have to be all done in one gym session. After your strength training, work on some defensive drills, parries, blocks, footwork, all of that. Just work on some defensive drills for 3 to 6 rounds and just focus on defense. A lot of fighters aren't good at defense because they don't dedicate the time necessary to defense. All they do is focus on throwing the perfect punch, but they don't focus on being the perfect defensive fighter. Next, you want to do some kind of supplemental exercises like the speed bag, sway bag, cobra bag, reflex bag, any one of those bags that help you work on another aspect of your game without really taxing you too much, that you could do almost as a cool off to your workout. Then do some pad work, do some running, and you're done. And if you do all that, you deserve to take Sundays off. Make sure your body's recuperated, eat good food, eat healthy, get your rest, get your relaxation. And don't forget to study a little bit, right? Work on your mind, read books. Read books on the art of war, read books on fighting, read books outside of that, read books about science, read books that are about self-help, right? Anything that you could read books about the brain, anything that you could read that can help you improve your game and improve yourself as a person. Don't forget to work on your mind. It's just as important as working on your body. Now, this is an end-all, be-all routine, so don't jump in the comments asking me, but what if I can add this or that? Of course you can, right? This is just my recommendation, and you could tweak it however you want. In the words of Bruce Lee, take what's useful, discard what's useless, and add your own little magic to it, right? I'm paraphrasing, but that's the Bruce Lee philosophy. Don't be afraid to use this as a starting point and sit down and make your own workout. Add some of the things that you already do to this workout, borrow some of the things that you haven't, that maybe you like resting only 30 seconds to get yourself in better condition. Whatever it is, make it your own. Now, if you're a professional or an amateur fighter that has to work to put food on the table outside of fighting, I totally get that. So make sure you structure it around your schedule, right? You have it rough already with having to work and not being able to do boxing full time. Structure around your schedule, but make sure to still put in the hours, because the only way you're going to be able to do boxing full time is if you train hard enough to keep winning and winning and winning. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this workout, and I actually challenge you to try and do it for a week and see how you feel. See how you feel on the level of improvement that you have in your physical conditioning and your mental conditioning. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, jab that like button and hit all those YouTube buttons. I'm Sean Brawl Brothers, and I'll brawl with you guys next time.